I watched Trump's first speech to Congress, and I actually thought he did pretty dang good. I really, truly did. But it is disturbing that I didn't hear anything about the people's Social Security not being touched. Now that is kind of disturbing, but I think he really did a good job. I tell you what else I see. Did you notice the Republicans standing up? Hey, Democrats sitting down, and when he talked about draining the swamp, the Democrats start laughing. Oh man! In other words, again, I remember saying some time ago, with Trump being in office, we're going to start watching our Congress behave more like Parliament over there in the UK, because those folks are pretty passionate, with exception of the Congress in the United States of America. They don't have the same passion as the Parliament does over there in the UK, because they will literally come to blows over there on the floor if you say something out of order. And I don't think we're at that level yet. Could be coming, but I don't think we're at that level. But you see the divide between the Democrats and the Republicans. It's obvious. The Democrats, if all of them, just you could tell before, no matter what he says, oh, we'll clap, but we will not stand up. And then he'd say something on the Republican side, and the Republicans, yay! It's just, the show is utterly amazing. But I tell you what else I see, that I know that the majority of the American people doesn't see. And I want you all to listen to me real good, okay? In this world, in this country, and that's the reason why Donald Trump's administration is filled with billionaires, Goldman Sachs and a bunch of other people. I want you all, I'm a student of history, somewhat. I'm not an expert, okay, but I do know a little bit. And what I see is nobles. I see what you would call noble men, nobles. And I see the nobles' wives. These are the people who run the country. These are people who have the businesses that run the country. And I'm beginning even the more so to understand the difference between a republic, as opposed to what they said in this, and a democracy. And my take is totally different than what you normally would hear out here. I'm beginning to see that the republic was all about those elected officials, selected elected officials, who's supposed to be representing allegedly the people's best interests in the states. And so my comprehension is that these people who gave us this thing called a republic didn't want the mob to do the ruling, which we continue to keep hearing the word democracy. And that's the reason why we always see presidents win by whoever have the most electoral college votes, and not the mob, because they don't want the mob doing the rule. Now, in lieu of last election, I don't know how it applies. So the jury is still out deliberating as far as me being able to articulate all the things that I have going on in my heart and consulting, this particular fact right here. But what I see is nobles, and then I see nobles setting up commerce, and then I see labor. Labor's the people. I see the nobles, they have the goods, they create labor, which is jobs for the people. Common folks, the people who go to war, the peasants, the people who work hard to put food on the table, but also to line the pockets of the bankers, and the nobles. And I know that many people don't know what I'm saying and can't even comprehend it. But that is the system that we're faced with, where the rich is literally ruling the world. And these people are nobles. And they're going to intermarry within themselves. That's the same thing that still has gone on since the days of old. And we don't see that changing at all. And so whenever they mention jobs, labor, everything else, the reason why they clap their hands, because they got hair growing on the bottom of their hands, because they're not going to get out and do the labor that you and I do. Now, somebody has to labor, somebody has to own the business, and somebody has to supply the goods and the services and make the deals. I comprehend that very well, but I do know that there's a great gulf, a great divide concerning wages and wage earnings in this country. And there's a big gulf between the rich and the poor in this country. It really, really, truly is. And that's disturbing. What's also painfully disturbing to me is the stock market hitting 11 records when we are in extraordinary amount of debt. Seems like the more debt that we're in, the higher the stock market goes. I also see metals is on the move. Let me see what silver and gold is doing right now. Well, if it'll load and pop up. But silver and gold has been on the rise. It's been on the rise. It is not popping up right now. Oh, well. I just see things from a different perspective. I really, truly do. I still believe more than anything, my advice is don't trust in these people who are selected officials. You call them elected officials. Don't trust them. You should trust in those who have integrity. And that's one thing we're missing in this generation more than anything, is finding people of integrity. And it looks like gold is up. The ask price is $12.49 an ounce, and silver is at $18.50. It's on the rise. It's slowly but surely rising. When I told you, when it's at $20 mark, that's when people are going to start buying. It's just utterly amazing. But you know, in the time that we're living in, it's very important to find people of like mind that is you have tested, proven, and tried, and has integrity. Because most people, they just simply don't have it. If their moral compass is decayed and it's cancerous and it's messed up, you can't depend on those people to make sound, rational choices and decisions that's going to benefit the whole, because we live in a country where most people are self-focused, self-centered, and self-absorbed, and it's all about them, and it's been that way since yesterday. I hope I've said something that will inspire, that will put a defibrillator on your mind and cause you to think. Because in this world, whether we like it or not, we can't do this thing, live this thing by ourselves. We need other like-minded people who are in the same mind and the same spirit as we are. And then, much as possible, to try our best to live at peace. You have a wonderful day.